Peace. What's good? How y'all doing? Welcome to another edition of Walk With Me with your host, Zaza Ali. I'm saying my name, obviously. Normally I would do this in the membership channel, but considering the nature of this message, I'm going to put this up on YouTube. So, this is a ongoing series that I do in my membership channel called Walk With Me. Normally, I'm in nature-based settings, beach, mountains, etc. But today, I wanted to talk about the holiday blues, but then also give set a sort of tone for abundance, and because that's the goal right now, to be in alignment with the abundance frequency. And so I am here in beautiful Beverly Hills, and I love this neighborhood, and I wanted to share this. And I've never walked through here, but I've driven through here many a times, and so I wanted to share the beauty of not only nature, which as you can see is very green and plentiful during this beautiful winter season, but also share the beauty and the magnificence of the architecture, which you guys know I am extremely fond of. I'm an avid lover of architecture, interior and exterior. I actually went to school for 3 years. I didn't get my degree because I ended up switching gears before I went to my 4th year in college, but I'm considering going back and getting it. But even if I don't, I got what I needed from that experience. So yeah, we're here in Beverly Hills, and the topic of the video today is holiday blues. And I wanted to talk about that specifically because the irony, I don't know if you guys can hear me walking. I hope my footsteps aren't picking up and messing with with the ambiance, but something that I can't really avoid. But the irony of the holiday season and the fact that so many people get depressed around this time of year. Let me make sure which street I'm on first of all. Should I go right or should I go left, y'all? Let's go. That's a beautiful house right there. Let's go. Let's go left. The irony of the holiday season and the fact that it causes so many people to go into a state of depression for multiple reasons. Sometimes it's because, grief, losing loved ones, not being financially in a position to do things for your children, do things for your family, and then being alone. There's a lot of people who don't have people, who don't have family, who don't have support systems. Look at the beauty of this. That's what I love about California, the landscaping, the lusciousness of the trees, the palm trees, the flowers, all of it. Again, abundance is the theme, and I want to really hone in on that. I'll let nature do that and the environment do that, because right now is the time for us to really be starting to conceptualize and visualize and meditate on what we want our 2024 to look like. And that's another underlying theme for this video. But the irony of this supposing, that's not a right word, but this is supposed to be, a time of cheer and a time of gleefulness and a time of happiness. And how many people go into debt, how many people are really struggling mentally and spiritually, emotionally. And I would say for sure that all of those sort of, the continuity of that, especially in America, that's sort of, a common consensus. But then in 2023, let's see which way we're going. Let's go right. In 2023 now, I think it has been greatly exasperated. It has been and is being greatly exasperated. And as I've been telling you guys, particularly in the membership channel, but in all of my content, that heaven and hell are expanding in the mind. And so this is the time to be mentally and spiritually, emotionally, and physically fortified. And that means all of us should be continuously working on ourselves in all four of those areas. And so, what was my point? So the holiday blues, I've communicated back and forth with several people in the membership channel, as well as, people email me all the time. I'm constantly in contact with people who are really, really struggling during this season. And so, and I've had it's no secret how I've been very open about my family upbringing and lack of family and whatnot. I'm very blessed that my son has a tribe. My son has a strong tribe. So whereas I'm very comfortable with spending the holidays working, which is exactly what I'm going to be doing. Look how green that grass is. I mean, come on now. It's December. I'm very comfortable with spending the holidays working or whatever it is that I end up doing with these next couple of days. My son doesn't, he's young. He's a young man, so he's got a very strong tribe, so I don't have to feel any type of way about, because I'm happy that he has family and he's going to be spending his holiday seasons, surrounded with love. So that's a blessing. But the point that I really want to emphasize in talking about being in this world and not of this world, and I want to say that again and emphasize that point of being in this world and not of this world. And if you are striving to walk in the light, if you're striving for Christ consciousness, if you're striving to radiate and resonate love, then you have to understand that your temperament and your mindset is very, very different than the average person, than most people in this world right now. So if you are currently stressed and feeling anxiety about not being able to purchase gifts for your family, for your children, or if you're putting yourself into debt for those same reasons, you are still in this world, because God is about abundance. Everything godly is about abundance. Everything rooted in truth is rooted in abundance, right? If you are currently pessimistic and bitter about love, about relationships, there are no good men, there are no good women out here, etc., then you are in this world. You are in this world. You are still in this world, because nothing that is rooted in scarcity is of God, even consciousness, right? And so if you, again, everything is mental, all is mental. The mind is, the concept of the divine mind, which is really what God is, consciousness, awareness, etc. If you are operating in a lack-based consciousness in any capacity in terms of where you are in your life right now, then you're still in this world. And that's really something now on December 24th, moving towards the end of the year, people start setting New Year's resolutions, coming to grips with everything that happened during this year, everything that didn't happen during this year, etc. Now is the time to really start doing a self-analysis, to tap in with yourself and to consider whether or not your mind is in the way, whether or not your thinking is in the way. I've been talking a lot, I've done so many consultations, oh my God, over the last month for sure, but just over the last couple of months, I've done a lot of consultations, and there's been this repeating theme, because this is something that I personally have had to confront and overcome over this past year. This is a cross that I've had to carry, but it's also something that I have heard. I can't tell you, maybe 85-90% of my consultations, I've heard people say, or people have told me, I don't know why I'm going through this again. I thought I healed from this. I thought I was over this. Why is this coming back up for me now? Why am I being re-triggered from A, B, C, D, whatever it may be? And so in one of my recent consultations, I know she'll be listening. Hey, Queen. I said this one time to her. And it was so profound because it was wisdom being revealed unto me as well. See, I'm in Beverly Hills, you see the sign. It was so profound that I've said it in multiple consultations since, and I've expanded it within my own self and for my own self, for my personal understanding as well as for the work that I do with clients. My Climbing the Ladder of Yourself program, which I'm very excited about. Shout out to everybody that signed up for that first group. I'm putting together some very, very good content based on all of these downloads that I've been getting from my personal life and my consultations with you guys. I have a waiting list for the second series, if you will. I'm pretty sure my waiting list has already passed 10 people. And I said when I got to 10 people, I was going to consider doing another one and running them parallel. But we'll see, because I've been really, really swamped with work as of late. I really need a couple of months off, but that's another conversation. But so this metaphor in talking to this beautiful sister who was one of those clients who, you know, was in the, I've already dealt with this. I thought I was already over this. Why is this stuff coming back up, etc. So here's the metaphor. I said, "Ooh, let me cross the street because this dude has some dogs that are not looking too friendly." Actually, should I go left? Maybe I'll go left. Try not to run into any major streets because I don't want the traffic to drown me out, even though there's not a lot of people really out on the streets because it's Christmas Eve. I don't know if you guys can see the hills in the background. That would be the Hollywood Hills. I'm like right on the border of Hollywood and Beverly Hills. But anyway, so here's my metaphor. If you grew up playing Super Mario Brothers, if you didn't play Super Mario Brothers, that's just too bad for you. Because I remember when Nintendo first came out, that was everything for us. But with that building, I love to see building taking place. It's always, I just have a thing for building, construction, architecture. It's just so fascinating to me. I know that's one of the things I'm supposed to do while I'm here. It's why I went to school for it. And it's why I have a serious love and passion for it. So I'm prepping myself for that as well. But if you played Super Mario Brothers, and if you've never played Super Mario Brothers, then just hear me out, because I'm sure there's another video game that you could use as a stand-in, or to make this make sense. But in the beginning of, I just love palm trees, y'all. They're so beautiful. Wherever I end up living, I have to have palm trees and water and mountains in a close vicinity. I'm probably gonna be leaving LA in February. So before I leave, I'm gonna be doing some, it's a beautiful house right there too. I like clean lines. Before I leave, I'm going to do some walk with me videos in all of the most beautiful places, not just in LA, but in the surrounding areas. So you guys can look forward to that. But Super Mario Brothers. So at the beginning of the game, level 1, you have the most basic, easiest levels of the game, right? You start the game off, you hit the question mark, a mushroom comes out, you eat the mushroom, you get superpowers, you can run through the tortoises, you go down into the tunnels underground, you go through these little mazes and whatnot, but it's all pretty easy. There's nothing complicated about it, right? So that's level 1. Ooh, this is a beautiful yard. By the time, I don't even know why am I breathing like this? I'm not even walking fast. It's because I'm talking. Okay, so y'all bear with me. Let me catch my breath. So that's level 1. As you go through the levels of the game, it starts to get harder, right? The adversaries are a little bit more difficult. You know, it's harder to pass the levels, etc., right? So let's say the final level is level 10. And on level 10, this is once you get past the level, at the end, in order to win the game, you have to fight the biggest adversary, right? And so, but before you get to the biggest adversary, at the beginning of level 10, you always have to go back over the most basic. Oh, it's a pretty house. I like the black and white vibes. That's usually my design motif. I'll have like a simple background and then I'll add colors. Anyway, let me not get sidetracked. More construction. I'm here for it. Everything, all of these beautiful houses, multi-million-dollar houses, everything that they are constructed of comes from the earth. There isn't a limitation. There is no lack. So anyway, level 10. Before you get to your final adversary on level 10, you have to go through the basic steps, the basic level, the basic aspects of the game again. So on level 10, you may start out, and again, you have to hit the question mark. You get your mushroom, you run through the turtle, go underground, collect your coins, get your prizes, etc. So level 10 will start off very easy and very basic. And as you work your way through the level, once you get to the end, level 10, after you pass the most basic steps, and then it increases in difficulty, and then eventually you meet, or you go head to head with the adversary, with the final adversary, right? This is a beautiful house. I love it. And so that's a perfect metaphor to me in terms of my experience this year, and then also in terms of the experience that so many people that I've talked to have had. Oh yeah, I see why I'm walking on an incline. I didn't even realize it. And I'm walking fast. I just walk fast naturally, guys. So that's a perfect, to me, metaphor for what a lot of people are experiencing right now, because we're at this point where all of us are having to tackle that final adversary, putting that in context, right? Because once you win the game, then a new game starts, or a new level starts, right? So it never ends. That's why we're here. But just for the sake of the conversation, more construction, tackling that final adversary to win the game. Level 10, you got to start off with the most basic aspects of the game. On level 10, all things that you've already proven you can beat, all things that are at this point, once you're at level 10, this is the easiest parts, right? Got to highlight the palm trees. But now you're on level 10. Now you got to beat the most simple aspects of the game, and then you go head to head with the big monster or the big adversary. And so what you have to identify, and what I had to identify, is what is my largest adversary? What do I fear the most? What am I the most worried, the most concerned about? What is that thing from my childhood or from my upbringing that's still festering beneath the surface, right? And that's the final adversary. That's why I've been talking about and emphasizing being mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and physically fortified, because that is going to be critical for all of us in this timeline. When we talk about spiritual warfare, I think, because, a lot of people are talking about that, I think it's kind of becoming a little blasé. People are getting lazy with that concept. How do you fight a spiritual war? By putting on the armor of God. Well, what is the armor of God? Mental, spiritual, emotional, and physical fortification. You can't be spiritually fortified and you can't run up a flight of stairs, right? Because your body is the temple of God. And I could, get into all of the semantics of the pH and, your cells and how you talk to yourself and how that impacts, the overall vibrational resonance of your physical body as well as your internal body. But I don't want to, trying to keep this video right around 30 minutes so it doesn't take me forever to upload it. And then emotionally fortified, which I think for Black people in America in particular is going to be the biggest hurdle, because a lot of us have never been properly loved, and a lot of us have never learned how to properly love. And so we're out here kind of, focusing on chasing the bag, focusing on sort of projecting towards everybody else and not really internally focused, not, focusing on self-awareness and self-accountability. So mental, spiritual, emotional, and physical fortification, that's the armor of God. Your vibrational countenance, your frequency, your vibrational resonance, and actually being intentional. How you guys doing? And actually being intentional about these things, right? So whatever it is, the difficulty factor in your life right now, and again, if you're in a state of depression, if you're in a state of anxiety, if you're stressed about not buying your children gifts, if you're stressed about, not being able to go back home and be with your family, which I know is a big thing, don't get me wrong. And I'm in no way trying to dissuade you or not emphasize the importance of family, because absolutely not. But I am saying that today and tomorrow are just another day. I am saying that these holidays are 100% made up. I am saying that the consumerism and the emphasis on putting people in debt and the emphasis on tangible material things, those are absolutely contrived. All of that is contrived. If this holiday is about God and about Christ consciousness and about love, then why do so many people feel so bad and so stressed? So I want to emphasize to you guys to really start pondering for you as an individual, for your children, for your family, what does it actually mean to be in this world and not of this world? Being of sound mind and body, regardless to whom or what. What does that actually mean? What does that mean for you? Because it's going to be critical. That's level 1 in spiritual warfare to me. I say that tongue in cheek because, there's a lot of level 1s that we could pinpoint. But just for the sake of the conversation we're having right now, if that's level 1, and then starting to, in your mind, really choose and decide what it is that you want your life to look and feel like. That's what you should be doing right now. Not stressing about what you weren't able to afford. Not stressing about what everybody else is posting on social media and how they have so much and how you have so little. That's scarcity and lack-based consciousness. God is not there. That is scarcity and lack-based consciousness, and God is not there. Creating without limitations. What do you want your life to look and feel like? What does your heart really, really, truly desire? And I'm saying this knowing and understanding that most of the people that are going to hear this message do not know. I've done way too many consultations. I've studied people for a living. And I've been in that space. What is it that you really, truly want your life to look and feel like? If you're intentional about that right now, if you're focused about that right now, if you're mindful and conscientious about that right now, you don't really have time to be sitting around having the holiday blues. Get up and move. Get up and walk. Go to the park. Go to the beach. Go to the mountains. Go outside, stretch your legs. Tap in with nature. Tap in with God. Tap in with yourself. Because if you're in a low space right now, you're out of alignment. If you're feeling chaotic, if you're feeling confused, if you're feeling down on yourself, then you're out of alignment with the way that God sees you. And we don't need to argue semantics about the word God, just like we don't need to argue semantics about the word black. By the way, I'm thinking about going live tomorrow. What do you guys think? If I go live tomorrow, is anybody going to show up? Technically, it is Christmas. It's Monday. I'm going to be working. And I've been working on this presentation for the past couple of weeks. I think I'm going to call it Black America Oblivious to the Times. And it's Christmas, so, some people might not think that's the right spirit to bring to the table on such a day. But for me, it's just another day. I don't really celebrate holidays, even though I do celebrate all of you celebrating one another. But I'm thinking about going live tomorrow. What do you guys think? If I go live, is anybody going to show up? Probably like 1 o'clock Pacific, so maybe 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Maybe get more people tuned in on the West Coast. The East Coast, you guys will probably be sitting around eating your turkey legs, hopefully no ham, at least. Maybe in a perfect world, you'll have a nice, delicious, plant-based vegan meal. Look at that bird, that's beautiful. Oh my God, look at nature is just so amazing, man. I always ask, how beautiful is God? It's just so beautiful, man. I feel so thankful and blessed to be alive. I feel so thankful and blessed to have my mind. So thankful and blessed for my son. So thankful and blessed for all of the members in my membership channel who support me. All the people who pray for me, who send me goodwill, who are in my corner. The people that love me, because the love is strong and the love is real. But again, as we walk through this beautiful, beautiful neighborhood, we want to set a tone for abundance. There's nothing that you can't have. There's nothing that you can't accomplish. There's nothing that you can't manifest. But we have to fine-tune our minds, fine-tune the way we see the world, and fine-tune and condition our internal bodies and our internal mind. Step 1, level 1. How are you thinking? How are you feeling? Okay, check in, tap in, observe, become aware. Step 2. Okay, there's a program running in the back of my mind of scarcity and of lack-based consciousness. Maybe it comes from my family. Maybe it comes from my culture. Maybe it comes from the fear of living in this reality during this timeline, because fear-based consciousness is prevalent. Unless you're in an environment like this. You think these people are waking up and worrying about how they're going to pay their rent or their mortgage? I don't think so. So they're already, in terms of, let me stabilize my camera. They're already ahead of the curve in terms of, the vibrational resonance. And we could argue semantics. Oh, well, they come from wealth, or they're white, or they're this, or they're that. That's all scarcity and lack-based consciousness. We're not doing that. Race-based consciousness, the timeline for that is over. And this is why a lot of our people are not going to be able to manifest abundance and to manifest clarity and to manifest the lives that their hearts truly desire, because they're locked in a lack-based consciousness and in the race-based frequency. And we're not doing that. So you got a program playing in the back of your mind, lack-based consciousness, scarcity. I'm never going to be able to find a man because all the good black men are either dead or in jail or gay or whatever. I've never said that. I've never accepted that. I've never embraced that. I'm not going to be able to find a good woman because all the women are chasing the bag, or, selfish, concubine frequency, etc. That's lack-based consciousness. That's scarcity-based consciousness. God is not there. So really, and that's just level 2. And within those levels, there's caveats, right? How are you taking care of your body? How are you eating? How are you taking care of your body? How are you eating? How are you taking care of your mind? How are you feeding your mind? What are you feeding your mind? Your emotional well-being. Are you surrounding yourself with energy vampires? Are you connected to or attached to a relationship that you know cannot and will not ever bring out the best in you? Are you afraid to be alone? So you're locked into a relationship that keeps you feeling alone. That's the irony, right? Because whatever you attract in relationships, circumstances, businesses, finances, etc., it's a reflection of something that's going on within you. More construction. I love it. I love to see building. I love creation. I love expansion. I love the concept of seeing something go from nothing to something, an idea in your mind to manifesting. So I love writing books, because every book at one point was just a thought in my mind. And then eventually I end up holding the book in the hand. And then eventually somebody else way across the world is holding the book in their hand. And it germinated in my mind. Just an idea. We came here to create. It's the whole purpose of our being here. This is why so many people are stressed out, depressed, and filled with anxiety. Because even if they don't know it on the surface, internally, we all know that we came here to create. And most of us are doing everything but that. We came here to create. We came here to master emotions. This is why love is critical. Love is critical. Love is critical. Who do you love? Oh, nobody loves me. I don't feel loved. Okay, well then love yourself. Today is a beautiful day. Tomorrow is a beautiful day to intentionally do something good for somebody else. I did 3 things today intentionally for somebody else. And I don't need to talk about it. I don't need to tell anybody, but I did it because I understand the times. I understand the timeline. I understand the weight of how these holidays impact people psychologically. And more important than any of those things, I'm focused on radiating and resonating the love frequency. That's the answer. You can't change anything in the world unless you change yourself. I remember I used to hear people say that and I thought it was like, that's when I was like on the forefront mindset in the quote unquote social justice sort of mindset and sentiment. But now I understand that the stronger my vibrational resonance, the more I'm radiating love, the more intentional I am about radiating love and being of service to the world and being kind to other people and doing good for other people. That's the solution. A lot of people don't want to hear that, but I know it to be true because I've watched the trajectory of my life and I've seen the things that work. I've seen the things that have been the most beneficial. And I've also, at certain periods of time, sacrificed myself for the greater good. Never again. Why should I have to sacrifice myself for the greater good? What type of God would ask that of me? No, Zaza, you came here to create. You came here to experience love at the highest levels. Let's see what they build in here. See, this is something I really could have. This could have been me. Not this, but you know what I mean? I could have absolutely owned a design and architecture firm. Maybe someday I will. Maybe I need to put that in my mental Rolodex. I plan on doing it, but anyway, let me not get here. That's neither here nor there. Stay on point. I ain't got no notes. I don't have any paper, so I'm always writing notes to kind of keep my thought process. Look at that tree. That's beautiful. To try to keep myself on point in terms of the message, but I think the message is clear. Again, intentionally doing something good for someone, calling somebody that is struggling, that maybe you haven't spoken with, maybe a relationship, a family member going through something. We got to really start checking up on the people in our lives. And I'm not saying reach back for somebody who's toxic. Nah, leave that shit behind. Because there's some toxic people that I've had to leave behind over the last couple of years, and I know they're reeling from it. My presence is missed because I add value to all the spaces and all the people that I'm invested in and involved with, right? And that's another thing, just sort of adding to the idea of being of service. And this is what I've continuously been talking about in the membership channel, adding value in every space you go into, in every conversation, in every relationship. Be invested in the people in your life. The world needs more love. We need more kindness. We need more creativity. We need more thinking outside the box. We need more self-love. So, you talk about what is the concept of self-love. And I remember when I used to hear people talk about that, and it was like, yeah, I want to hear that Hallmark card shit. I grew up in the hood, What does that mean? But it's beautiful that I grew up in the hood. It's important that I grew up in the hood, because those of us who have come up in America in particular, who have had a certain type of experience, are being properly, or specifically I should say, shaped and molded for this time. Okay, this is where I started, so let me turn back around. Are being have been shaped and molded to have the courage and conviction to stand up to this time. So again, yes, December 24th, yes, Christmas Eve, yes, tomorrow's Christmas, yes, you might be alone, yes, you might be struggling financially, yes, you might be feeling some type of way about the way your life turned out this year, the best parts and the worst parts, but so what? Shift the narrative, focus within. Start to be mindful and conscientious about what you want your life to look and feel like in 2024. Let's do that. Let's be there. Let's focus there. Anything that represents scarcity and lack-based consciousness is of this world. Everything that represents scarcity and lack-based consciousness is of this world. Oh, that's dope. I like how they have those purple rocks in there. See, that's my thing. I like white lines or straight lines, and then color. Not necessarily white lines, but just, anyway, getting besides myself. I think I said everything I wanted to say. My metaphor, abundance, beauty of God. We came here to create. We came here to love. We came here to learn how to master and manipulate energy. We came here to experience and embody the fullness of what God is. And it's represented in every facet and every aspect of this reality. So just stop for a minute. Just stop for a minute. And just take some breaths. Be grateful for your life. Be grateful for your mind. Be grateful that you're alive during this timeline. Because if you're here, and I know if you're rocking with me, and if you haven't become a victim of this insanity over the last 3 years, and you still have your sanity and your mental faculties, you came here to play big. I don't live small. I'm not living small. I'm swinging for the fences. I'm swinging for the fences in everything that I do. Every book that I write from here on out, every class that I teach, every presentation that I do, every video that I do, every client that I talk to, I'm swinging for the fences. You see what I'm saying? And that's going to mean something different than you. And it should for you. And it should mean something different for you. So let's live in color. Let's live out loud. Let's be bold. Let's take calculated risks. Let's be strategic in our lives. Let's determine and decide through our imagination the best, the brightest, the boldest. Look at these beautiful flowers. The best, the brightest, the boldest possible outcomes that we can experience in this life. I'm rooting for you. I'm here with you. I'm sending love to you. You're not alone. None of us are ever alone. So in a certain realm of consciousness, we are a tribe and y'all are my family. I'm here representing love. I'm representing God. I'm representing the ancestors. I'm representing the original people. I'm representing abundance. I'm striving for all of those things. You should be too. It's a beautiful life. Don't let these people manipulate you into being depressed. God is not there. Don't let these people manipulate you into scarcity and lack-based consciousness. God is not there. You see all this beauty around me? You see all this green? You hear the quietness? You see the beauty of the architecture? You see the beauty of nature? This is living right here. And I'm not making this about being in Beverly Hills and, oh, those people are only people, they're white, they have this, they have that. Again, that's scarcity-based consciousness. God is not there. There's nothing you can't do. There's nothing you can't have unless you put a limitation on your mind, unless you put a limitation on it. So take the blinders off. Take the cap off your imagination. It's a beautiful life. And I'm very excited about 2028 because I put in a lot of work, a lot of unseen work this year, and it's all getting ready to pay off. And I'm so grateful to be alive. I'm so thankful for all of you guys who follow my content, who watch my content, who support my books, who support my work. I'm really getting ready to turn up because I turned within in a major way. I did the work. I sat still. I got quiet. I turned off the world. I dealt with my inner being. I dealt with my lower nature. I dealt with myself. All the things that I talk about in my videos, all the things that I recommend to you guys, suggest, advise, etc. I've done it all. And I'm still doing it. So let's take this time to tap out of scarcity consciousness. Today's a day like every other day. As we see more construction here. Tomorrow's a day like every other day. Tuesday's a day like every other day. So create something beautiful. Imagine something beautiful. Experience something beautiful. Don't you want to feel love? Don't you want to experience love? Don't you want to give love? Don't you want to embody love? I do. And that's what abundance, nature all around us is representing. All right, so I'm going to leave you beautiful people there. I'm going to get up this hill. I know I've been walking on an incline, so I'm going to get up this hill, and it's going to take, I don't want to start breathing all heavy and sounding weird on you guys. Plus, I'm already at 44 minutes, so I'm going to leave you there, sending you love, sending you wellness, sending you clarity, sending you positive energy, sending you the God frequency, God consciousness, all of that. This is our time. For the beings of light and those of us who are walking in truth, this is our time. Enjoy your holidays. Peace and love.